Days away from the legalization of medical marijuana here in Florida, and more doctors are signing up to be able to prescribe under the new law. News Channel 5's Jacqueline Powell live in our newsroom with why they say the drug is good news in their minds for Florida. Jacqueline?
Well, Michael, every week dozens of doctors are going for the certification they need to prescribe the drug right here in Florida. Since medical marijuana was legalized on November 8th, more than 150 new doctors have signed up. I spoke with one of them today who says marijuana gets a bad rap and that it's safer than what he's currently treating chronically ill patients with.
It's a great drug to be on.
Dr. Mohammed Javed is talking about medical marijuana. He admits not all doctors agree, but Dr. Javed believes medical marijuana could be the answer to Florida's issues with substance abuse.
It's much better than the people getting addicted to narcotic drugs.
Javed says he's seen too many patients with chronic pain develop those addictions and sometimes even eventually turn to heroin.
They keep taking tons of medications and nothing works, and then they start abusing.
Dr. Javed sees patients at this primary and urgent care center in Green Acres. He just finished his training to be able to prescribe medical marijuana earlier this month. He's one of nearly 30 doctors permitted to do so in Palm Beach County right now. Dr. Javed says after the new law goes into effect January 3rd, he'll be able to prescribe medical marijuana for conditions like migraines, chronic nausea, glaucoma, and even bipolar disorder. Before, doctors could only prescribe low doses of THC to patients who are terminally ill or suffer from a few specific chronic conditions. But Javed says medical marijuana will still be treated as a last resort. He can't just treat patients who walk into his urgent care center.
If you know your patient, and you have been treating them, following them for more than 3 months, and nothing else is working, and they have no quality of life, you can prescribe them safely.
Even though the new law goes into effect Tuesday, lawmakers hope to finalize all rules and regulations for medical marijuana by September 9th. In the newsroom, Jacqueline Powell, WPTV News Channel 5.
Today, Florida's new medical marijuana amendment goes into effect. That means more people can use it. More potent strains of the drug are becoming legal. ABC Action News anchor James Tully is live in Tampa. And James, this is a monumental day for those who have campaigned for medical marijuana.
Dan, it absolutely is. We're standing in front of one of just 5 licensed dispensaries in the entire state of Florida, and they're going to have a very busy new year, let me tell you. Now, True Leave, just a couple of months ago, led us into their facilities, and we saw firsthand how oil is extracted from the marijuana plant, and that's how people will be taking this drug. The new amendment does not allow marijuana to be smoked legally, but the oil can now contain a higher amount of THC. That's the psychoactive part of the plant. Essentially, it's the part that gets you high. Now, in addition to people who suffer from cancer, epilepsy, and chronic seizures who already could get a prescription, now with the new amendment, people who suffer from some terminal illnesses can acquire a prescription. Physicians in the Bay Area that are licensed, we've counted at least 60 of them. For a full list, go to abcactionnews.com to find one near you. Live this morning in Tampa, James Tully, ABC Action News.
The medical marijuana law official now in Florida starting today.
Hey, but don't expect crowds of customers rushing to dispensaries. Here's why. The Now's Ryan Smith is live to explain all about this and why it could take months actually before new patients get the access. Ryan.
True Leave is just one of 5 registered and approved medical marijuana dispensaries in the state of Florida, and this company is expanding its business footprint right here in the Tampa Bay area. Take a look behind me here is proof. The store plans on opening its Tampa location right here off North Del Mabry next week. Now, this is a highly regulated industry, and getting your hands on medical cannabis is not an overnight process. Starting today, the list of sick Floridians allowed to take various forms of medical marijuana expands to 10 ailments. They're on your screen right now, but just because you may suffer from one of these illnesses does not mean you have a green light to buy medical marijuana. First, you have to consult with a Florida physician approved by the Department of Health at least 3 months before he or she can officially recommend medical marijuana for treatment. And even after that point, new patients still won't have access until state lawmakers pass rules and regulations overseeing the new list of potential patients. We spoke to a woman today suffering from stage 4 breast cancer. She says anyone trying to obtain medical marijuana quickly is just misinformed.
It's not overnight. You have to have a certain doctor and see him a certain amount of time, and you have to have money. You know, after you get through all the red tape, you have to have money out of pocket because insurance will not cover it.
And again, if you suffer from an ailment now covered under the passage of Amendment 2, you have to find a doctor who is listed on the state of Florida's Compassionate Use Registry. We have that full list posted online at abcactionnews.com. That's the latest live in Tampa tonight. Ryan Smith for The Now, Tampa Bay.
Marijuana law is now in effect. That means more people can use the drug and more potent strains are becoming legal.
Yeah, and ABC Action News reporter Ryan Smith is live to explain how the new industry is impacting local doctors. Ryan?
Well, Trulieve is one of 5 dispensaries operating right now in the state of Florida. And take a look behind me here. The company plans on opening its newest location right here in Tampa off North Del Mabry. But before a sick Floridian can come here to buy the natural, often controversial treatment, they have to consult a state-approved doctor, then wait at least 3 months.
I believe this is my answer because I've exhausted every standard method.
Today, Lynn Carithers is shopping for medical marijuana.
10 milligrams, 25 capsules, 10 milligrams, 25 capsules.
Okay, and that'll last me to the 16th.
Relief, she says, here after a long, expensive process. Stage 4 breast cancer sent her life spiraling into uncertainty.
I do have pain, a lot of pain. I have anxiety. I have insomnia. I just don't know from day to day what's going to happen.
Months before Lynn was even allowed inside this Clearwater dispensary, she had to meet with a state-approved doctor.
As a physician, we're always interested in continuing medical education.
David Kalin is one of about 60 Tampa Bay area physicians now approved to recommend medical marijuana. Patients have to meet with a doctor listed on the state's Compassionate Use Registry. Kalin believes he's on the ground floor of a blossoming industry, receiving calls from potential patients curious about the now legal drug.
And I've had to scramble and make sure that we have, our office has strong structural process to take these patients and not give them high expectations that can't be delivered on. And everything must be done strictly by the letter of the law.
And speaking of the law, there is still a lot up in the air right now as state lawmakers still have to come up with a set of rules to regulate and oversee those new patients now covered under Amendment 2. As for other Tampa Bay doctors looking to join the state's Compassionate Use Registry, well, they have to complete an 8-hour course. Live in Tampa, Ryan Smith, ABC Action News.
We've had a number of calls from people who expected that today was the day that all of a sudden that we'd be able to prescribe medical marijuana and it would solve all their problems.
Medical marijuana is legal in Florida as of today, but getting it from your doctor isn't. And as NBC2's Dave Elias discovered, patients might not be able to get the drug at all this entire year.
Yeah, that's what we're being told. And right now, medical experts point out that once medical marijuana is available, getting it still is not going to be easy. You'll have to see a doctor for months before it can be prescribed, and your insurance won't pay for the visits or the marijuana, leaving many with no choice but to continue using it illegally.
I had some stomach issues and I wasn't able to eat, and I actually tried it and I was able to hold food down.
Bambi Ely among those looking forward to legally using medical marijuana.
To me, it worked instantly.
But getting it won't be instant. In fact, it could be a year down the road before any patient gets it.
It might take even longer than that, sadly, with our government.
Leaving some like Justin Simmons seeking alternative ways to get it.
What do they got to do? I think it needs to hurry up. It's been long enough.
Dr. Jonathan Deitch of Fort Myers warns,
this is not just go to the doctor, he's going to write me a strip and I'm going to start a medical marijuana.
Getting it will be a challenge for many.
You have to have 3 months of significant treatment before you're even eligible for it. That's in the law, that you have to see the doctor for 90 days.
He points out that insurance won't pay for your doctor's visits. You will.
You may pay up to $250, $350 to see someone initially for the first time.
Insurance won't cover the medical marijuana either.
The cost of the medicine may be $200 to $400 a month on top of that.
Leaving those who need it feeling hopeless.
I am very disappointed, and actually it might take even longer.
Now, Dr. Deitch tells me there's also a debate by the health department over whether medical marijuana can be smoked. Amendment 2 approves it, but he says lawmakers may not. Right now, there are 11 doctors in Lee County who are willing to prescribe the drug, 2 in Collier County, and we've put a link to them on our website, nbc-2.com. Live in the studio, Dave Elias, NBC.
Life-changing drug now legal. However, there are a handful of steps patients still have to take before they can actually buy medical marijuana in South Florida. And News Channel 5's Jason Hackett's live outside the Department of Health to explain it for you. Jason?
Michael, now that the law is in place, all eyes are on the Department of Health. Potential patients will have to wait up to 6 months for the DOH to create rules and regulations before people can even get their hands on medical marijuana, meaning today is the first step on a much larger journey. On the day medical marijuana officially becomes legal in Florida, it's the big question on the minds of many. Am I eligible? The answer is complicated.
If you were to walk into your doctor's office today, as a brand new patient to someone who is licensed to give medical marijuana, you would not receive anything today.
Dr. Noreen Rosado is one of about 28 doctors in Palm Beach County licensed to recommend medical marijuana to patients. Until the Department of Health finishes crafting new regulations for the new law, the only people who can get marijuana fall under the state's old law, the Compassionate Use Act of 2014, which provides cannabis for a limited number of ailments.
Patients, let's say, with multiple sclerosis, that was already a guideline in the past, so they can still get it.
For everyone else, it's a bit of a waiting game. It starts with a visit to a licensed doctor.
You would come to the clinic, I would interview you, we would register you.
From there, state law requires that you see your doctor for at least 90 days.
That I can get to know you, I can get to know what your issues are and what you want to achieve from having medical marijuana.
After those 90 days are up, the doctor can provide the recommendation, which you would then take to a dispensary.
The dispensary will give you the dosage and the amount, and only in 45-day intervals.
Although you can't get marijuana today, Dr. Rosado says those who are interested should start the process of getting with a doctor now, while the regulations are still being formed. And for now, treating with medical marijuana will be expensive because insurance simply won't cover it. Patients must pay out of pocket for any doctor's visits or checkups, and they'll also have to pay full price when they get the drug at dispensaries. Live in Palm Beach County, Jason Hackett, WPTV News Channel 5.
New medical marijuana amendment officially takes effect today. Voters approved it back in November. Well, now comes all the details on growing, distributing, and everything else. Fox 13's Lloyd Sowers got an inside look at a huge pot growing facility today. I imagine that was pretty interesting, Lloyd.
Very interesting. It's in Lake Wales in Polk County, so they can serve Tampa and Orlando. It's one of just 7 growers in the state, and they will grow pot in a big way.
The compound in Lake Wales is both gigantic and secure.
We have 33 acres fenced in, Department of Defense grade fencing.
Darren Potter will be the chief grower when in a few months this building will be packed with pot plants.
Currently there's only 7 licensed entities in the state.
Potter is chief horticulturalist for a company called Grow Healthy. It's one of the 7 in the state now authorized to grow and distribute medical marijuana.
This room will be filled with plants. We have approximately 300 1,000 watt flowering lights in here.
In November, over 70% of Florida voters said yes to Amendment 2, which opens the door for doctors to prescribe marijuana as medicine.
They project it to be in the ballpark of a $2 billion industry at some point. There is a large number of patients in Florida that need this medicine, and that we hope to be able to service a great many of them.
They'll be able to grow 600 pounds of marijuana at a time, and depending on the dosage, that's enough for as many as 12,000 patients.
Some communities have been less welcoming, but in Lake Wales, they're happy that the long-vacant factory will be a huge legal grow house.
We're looking at 45 to 60 jobs. It's a boon for for our economy, and that's how we initially looked at it.
And they expect to see lots of legal pot growing here very soon.
Initially, they say they will deliver the medical marijuana to consumers who have a prescription. Under state rules, there's no middleman, so it goes straight from one of those 7 growers straight to the consumer. Grow Healthy in Lake Wales says it will begin delivering by this summer. Back to you.